This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven, and is lifted up even to the skies. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahweh Shai is his son who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'kah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I brought out the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 9, is that America's sins, have reached to heaven. That's why, her judgment is coming. All right? Her judgment have reached the heavens. All right? Everything that's being revealed regarding the leadership of America, all right, proves that America is going to be destroyed by nuclear fire, is going to be judged, all right? Her sins have reached the heavens. I keep saying that. Let me get Revelation 18, all right? Because that is the precept that goes with Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 9. You know what? I'm going to start at 4. Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people." Right? This is the deliverance of the Israelites. That's the Lord's people. All right? That are in Babylon, the great America, in captivity. Okay? They're the ones that are going to be delivered. The elect, that is. Let me emphasize. The elect are going to be delivered. All right, the elect of Israel from America, Babylon the Great. From why? How they going to? Why? Excuse me. Let me say this better. Why are they going to be delivered? All right, because they need to be delivered from the nuclear destruction, and this is what we're fighting for. We want to be part of that number. That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Right? Because why is that? Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High have remembered her iniquities. Right. And this is, proof. All right. With this whole Jeffrey Epstein saga. All right. That it's not going away. All right. You're not going to be able to hide it or bury it. All right. This is all being set up. All right. For that, so that America gets judged with nuclear fire. And it's coming. All right. I'm going to show you what Putin said about the Western countries, and he was referring to America because America, all right, is the main culprit coming against his country, all right, with this whole Ukraine situation, and of course CIA's spies in his country and killing his generals, all right, and also an attempt to kill him at his vacation home. Donald Trump also partook in that too. All right, yeah, Donald Trump would try to assassinate Putin. All right, so and I'm going to show you what Putin said. Okay, back in 2023. So just bear with me. Verse 5. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. Verse 6. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. Right. Okay? Everything you've done, especially towards the children of Israel, all right? Because a lot of this satanic ritual, pedo stuff, a lot of that, all right? Jake, all right? The children of Israel, all right, were harmed, okay? There was a lot of sacrifice regarding so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American by the hands of these devils. Okay. There's an email between Epstein and some individual. I think they redacted the name, talking about George Bush eating children, okay, and raping a young child. George Bush, yeah, okay. So this is why America is about to be judged. There's no stopping anybody that says, "Oh, America could come back out of this." You're part of the problem. You're wicked. All right. You don't believe in the Bible. All right. You're a Satanist. You're an atheist. All right. If you call yourself a Christian, okay, and say and have the gall, the audacity to say that America can come out of this and be redeemed from this, you are wicked, you are nasty, you're despicable, and you're gonna be judged along with this place. Okay. And anyway, plantation Christianity isn't the way. You have to be an Israelite to be saved. That's who my people is, by the way. All right. But but I'm saying this to you plantation Christians, trying to claim this high moral ground. And where the fuck are you plantation Christians at with this whole Epstein thing? All right, where are the vocab Malones? All right, or are you other bastards out there? All right, where the fuck are y'all at? How come y'all not talking about this? Okay, you live in this place, don't you? Do you believe America's Babylon the Great? All right, shouldn't you? Okay, be prophesying that this place is going to be destroyed? Do you believe America's Babylon the Great? You people are hypocrites. Anyway, so let's get to this, because this is getting spicy, man. Newly released Jeffrey Epstein files. Okay, this is this is it, man. There is no getting out. Okay, there is no redeeming yourself out of this. What's about to be revealed. All right. And I'm only going to bring certain key points just to emphasize why America sins, okay, have reached to heaven. This, okay, as it says in Jeremiah 51:9, again, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, right? She can't be healed, all right? Also, Babylon, let's get into this word, all right? This reminded me because I just watched the Apostles' sit down camp lesson that they did over the weekend. They went into the word Babylon, all right, which the Hebrew word is babal, all right. It means confusion, but also mixing, all right. This place is hella okay, confused in terms of they have arguments over, okay, what defines a woman or what defines a man. A man can be a woman could be a man. Okay. You also have the different nations here. Okay. All these different nations from all different parts of the world are here. All right. Saturated in the culture of America, Babylon the Great. Okay. Participating in American culture. Yeah. So it's one big confusion, one big mixing. All right. And then, of course, you got the pedo. Okay. That people are, it seems like everybody, if you notice, people are still going to work. People are still, okay, talking about sports. You hear that work. Okay. People are still gossiping about, okay, irrelevant topics. Nobody's even touched this. It's interesting. So it seems that you Americans are okay. You're complicit with this bullshit. That's what it sounds like. How come you're not protesting and carrying on? Why isn't there, okay, millions of people? You ever heard of that Million Man March? Why isn't there a Million Man March, okay, to D.C., about all this? What's going on? All right? This is it. Okay? No, you want to argue about immigration and ICE, and that's where you're going to have your protest, which is a controlled protest, okay? And that whole ICE situation is just being set up so they can push the digital ID, all right, the digital prison house for the RFID chip, the mark of the beast. All right, because something's going to happen where they're going to say, all right, everyone needs to have digital ID on them. All right, so we know who's who. So we're not out there falsely arresting people and stereotyping. Okay? So if you just have your digital ID, we'll scan it and then you'll be on your way. Yep. Just scan, and that's what's coming. All right? It's going to go with the phones. That's going to lead to the chip. All right? Because this devil works in gradualism. All right, so so let's read this again. Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country. All right, and you do see a lot of people that have the means to be able to flee up out of America. Denounce their citizenship. All right, but in this verse, all right, we don't have the means. So in your mind, that's why it says forsake her. In your mind, you want to be you want your mind away from this place. You want to be waiting on the arrival of Yahweh Shai all right, and that's what we're fighting for, all right, to be delivered from Yahweh Shai when he arrives. For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Right, there you go. Her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even unto the skies. Even to the sky, 10. The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God. 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Ooh, this is perfect. I can bring this out. Who are the king of the Medes? The modern day Medes? Russia. Okay? Russia. That's a fact. For his device against Babylon destroyed, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple. Right. And who is the Lord's temple? Us, the Israelites. Okay? We are his temple. Okay? We're the ones, when it says measure the temple, now as I go back to it, Revelation 11. I brought this out in one of my previous videos. Yep. Revelation 11:1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. Right. And what this is talking about, all right, those that are taking this truth seriously and those that are not, okay? Because what is the measuring, all right, stick? The scriptures, the words of the Lord. That's the measuring stick. And you have those that are taking this truth seriously, all right, and those that are not. And the Lord is measuring, okay, his people, those that are seeking him daily, that want to get up out of this sick, twisted prison house known as Babylon the Great, and those that don't want to stay here in this funky prison, okay, and be around and have be around pedos, and okay that their government is a bunch of pedos and satanic child sacrificers, okay, saying, rise and measure the temple of God and the altar and them that worship therein. Right. And the temple of the Most High, all right, is the Israelites. Okay. We are the temple. Okay. That's why, what does it say in here real quickly? 1 Corinthians 3:16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? Right. So the so-called third temple, all right, are the Israelites. Okay? Facts. Okay? We're the temple of the Most High. But only the elect are the ones that are going to be built up for salvation. The rest of y'all, okay, you're going to be destroyed, because what have you done to your temple? 17. If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple you are. Right. And the bulk of y'all have defiled yourself with this world by committing spiritual fornication with Babylon the Great. Okay, committing adultery with Babylon the Great. So you're going to die with this fucking place, with these weirdos. Okay. How at the end of the world you're going to die with weirdos like Epstein. Okay, and the ones that were covering up Epstein madness, right? Because this is proof, all right? That's what I'm saying. America's sins have reached to heaven. Epstein, so this is what came out in the file, okay? 3 million files related to the financier and convicted sex offender, right? He was convicted in 2008, and we're going to show you that Major players were still in contact with him after 2008. And the FBI's been covering it up. Okay? Covering this shit up. Epstein lawyers discussed possibility of cooperation days before his death. Okay, so here it is, man. So this is how you know they clipped him. Okay? He was willing to cooperate. He was going to pull a Nino Brown. Okay? They clipped him. All right? This is why the Lord's making sure that America is getting ready to be destroyed by Russia. Oh, let me go back. I forgot to finish this off with Russia. Jeremiah 51 verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes for his devices against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Right. Okay. So the Russians are going to destroy this place. Verse 2. FBI received allegations about Trump. Okay. Yeah, there's an email going around that Trump was with a minor. Okay. Just like Trump's been implicated in all these emails, whether he was with Bubba, Bill Clinton, or with a young minor. Musk had more extensive ties to Epstein than previously known, right? So there's emails, okay, back and forth between Musk and Epstein in 2012 and 2013. Again, this is after Epstein was convicted. Howard Lutnick made plans to visit Epstein Island back in 2012. Yet he claims in 2005 he cut ties with him. All right, these people are liars, man. Okay, the wicked are estranged from the womb, speaking lies. These are the devil the Bible speaks of. These are the Edomites, whether they want to call themselves JJs or American. They're Edomites. Mountbatten Windsor invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace. You see that? Again, what I'm emphasizing is that this is all after he was convicted in 2008 and served time. He didn't serve full time. He served 13 months out of the 18 months. 13. How interesting. 13. Oh, yeah, right here. It says it right here. In 2008, as part of a negotiated deal, Epstein pleaded guilty to state charges in Florida of solicitation of prostitution and solicitation of prostitution with a minor, and served 13 months of an 18-month sentence. Right? Why would you hang out with somebody who pleaded guilty? Okay? Why would you do that? All right? It goes to show you that all these people were down with what Jeffrey Epstein doing. They were part of it. They were with it. They enjoyed it. Okay? They're all Satanists, witches, and warlocks. They're Edomites. Okay? And of course, there's certain Jakes that sold out, like Jay-Z and Pusha T, right? That came out. What's going on with that? All right? What's going on in the hip-hop world? Yo, what's goody? What's going on with the hip-hop world with all that? Hip-hop is dead. Fuck that shit. It's done. Kiss it goodbye. Richard Branson, Epstein exchanged email, right? Richard Branson, this fucking weirdo. He's the founder of Virgin Group. Files show emails between head of LA Olympics Committee and Ghislaine Maxwell, Casey Wasserman, head of the Los Angeles Olympics Organizing Committee, and Ghislaine Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex crimes, appeared in the file, right? So they were in communication. Interesting. Okay. New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch exchanged emails with Epstein. Again, 2013. All right. This is all 2013, man. Looks like except for this one. All right. So there you have it. The point is, these weirdos, okay, have been in communication, have been meeting, hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of soliciting to a minor via prostitution. All right, trying to engage in prostitution with a minor. All right, so yeah. All right. This one too. This is the remember this woman? I remember I saw this video back in when I was really into the whole Illuminati, watching every Illuminati conspiracy video under the sun back in 2009. This is when I was like, Lost it. My mind was, this is right after I got out the military, and I was in college, and all I was doing was binging on conspiracy theories. This is when I was like, fucking like, what the hell? What world, all right, am I living in? You know, why the fuck did I go to war? All this shit. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it was the Lord building me up so that I can get into this truth. The point is, though, who is Gabriela Rico Jimenez? Epstein cannibalism whistleblower video goes viral amid a love torture video. Right, because here it is in this email. Okay, Jeffrey Epstein is speaking to somebody who, it's redacted. It could be Bush, who knows, right? Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video. So Epstein is confirming, okay, that this person is involved in a torture video. And then the person responds, I'm in China. I will be in the U.S. second week of May. And then they redacted this. So who was this that they're covering up? Okay, they blacked this out. All right. And this is coincide. And the reason why her video is going viral, because in that same year, she said that, okay, she was at some Fiesta Inn hotel in Mexico saying they're eating humans. They're eating humans. All right. They ate a person. I was unaware. I wanted freedom. There you go. So these people are cannibals. They're pedos. They're Satan worshipers. They do sacrifice. They do everything, man. All right. This is Babylon. Okay. And of course, the elites that use Babylon to make money. So I want to bring this out. No. Let me bring this out, because back to the Medes. The Lord is stirring up the Medes. So I want to bring out this. This is very important. All right. I'm going to take my time with this. All right. Because, hey, February 5th, 2025, America and Russia's nuclear treaty expires. I'm going to say this once again. February 5th, 2026. America and Russia's nuclear treaty expires. And after that, there is no nuclear treaty between America and Russia. Okay? On paper. All right? Meaning a nuclear war can legally pop off between Russia and America. Even though it's not going to happen until what? Until the market of beast, the RFID chip, is made mandatory. All right? But I just want to paint a picture, because we're clearly seeing that the Russians are being stirred up, all right, to lob nukes, okay, over here. So this is what Putin said back in 2023 at when he was addressing his nation. So he addressed his country. He addressed his whole country, all right. He told everybody in his country what the situation that's going on, okay, especially what the Western elites are doing to his country. This is what he says. We are fighting the Ukrainian people, Putin said, adding that Ukraine has become a hostage of the Kiev regime and its Western masters, which have effectively occupied the country, right? And as of right now, Putin won that war, okay, in Ukraine. The fact that he's able to attack Kiev and take out the power, right? Hold up. Let me show you something right here. Mass blackout and water shortages. It hit Ukraine. Okay, and this is showing the whole world, okay, that Russia cannot be stopped, no matter how many sanctions you put on Russia. The assets that you've frozen, okay, the amount of money you put against Russia, all right, the amount of weapons you bring into and the tanks and the drones, okay, America could not stop Russia. Russia's in Kiev whooping ass and fucking them people up in Kiev. The incident follows Russia's month-long campaign targeting Ukraine's critical infrastructure, which has inflicted severe damage to the energy system. That's it. If you're able to cripple a country's energy system, you won that war. And they're freezing these fucking people in Kiev. Okay? They ain't got no water. Okay? They ain't got no power. Them niggas is catching hell, bro. Ukraine's power grid is experiencing mass outages on Saturday after a technical malfunction caused electrical lines between Moldova, Romania, and Ukraine to fail, Ukraine's energy minister said. All right. Meanwhile, the Minister of Energy has confirmed that the emergency situation in power grid was not caused by a cyber attack, blah, blah, blah. All right. They know they're trying to calm the people down because they don't want the people to know that, hey, Russia's able to take out our power. All right. Even though they're saying that Russian drones were taking out. Yeah, here it is. So that was 2 days ago. Energy truce ends as Russia hits Ukrainian power grid. Right, so they did it again. Okay? Causing widespread. Yep, they did it again. Look at that. Look at that shit. In the cold. In the cold, son. That's like right here. What if Russia and Iran and China did a fucking, a unified attack on America's electrical grid? Right now, this would be a perfect time. Take out the power on them sickos, on them freaks. All right? Because look what Putin says, man, about the Western civilization. Let's continue on. Though Putin began, we'll just get to the point. Western elites are conspiring against Russia. Not only did Putin say that the West is responsible for the war, but he added that elites from Western nations are trying to destroy Russia. Right. This is why, in Ezekiel 38, man, the Lord is going to put in Putin's mind an evil thought. And I just found out that Putin, can stay president all the way up to 2036. 2036, that's 10 years. Because we're in 2026. So 2036, and we ain't going to be here no 10 years. All right, everything is moving fast, man. I can't see it, man. I can't see it. All right, we being here another 10 years, man. Fuck that. The Lord has to shorten the time, or no flesh shall be saved. Look what the fuck is going on. The responsibility for fueling the Ukrainian conflict for its escalation for the number of victims lies completely with the Western elites, Putin said. He continued, Western elites will make no secret of their goal to inflict a strategic defeat on Russia. What does this mean to us? This means they plan to finish us once and for all. Right. So this is Putin, once again, addressing his nation, saying Western elites want to finish us off. All right? And now everything that's coming out with this Epstein, the Russian people are like, yo, fuck the West, especially America. They're a bunch of pedophiles and sickos and freaks. And their people are okay with it. They're not rioting. They're not protesting. They're not doing, they're not saying the hell with this. Let's do a march to D.C. All right? We got to hang these, they got to, the people are not saying they got to hang their politicians by the gallows. They're not saying none of that shit. Yeah, it's going down. All right? The Russian people seeing that America, is sick and it's all set up for the nuclear war. Pedophile is the norm in the West. Check this out. Putin also characterized those in the West are sexual deviants and criminals and spoke against same-sex marriages. Quote, look at what they do to their own people, the destruction of families, of culture and national identities, and the perversion that is child abuse all the way up to pedophilia are advertised as the norm. Right. This is Babylon. Okay. Confusion. Mixing. This is the mixing. Okay. And priests are forced to bless same-sex marriages. The Russian president said, right. And this whole Epstein thing, it just confirms it. Okay. And of course, we hear the prophets, man. We've been saying this because we're the ones that said that these people were Satanists. They were into child sacrifice. They were into cannibalism and all that. We've been said that, man. So I want to bring this out because, hey, man, we're seeing the fall of our enemy. Ecclesiasticus, also known as the Book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that see the fall of his enemy. Right, we're seeing the fall of our enemy. There is no healing Babylon. America cannot recover. There is no healing this place. This place is being set up for nuclear war, for nuclear destruction through the nuclear war that's being set up perfectly. The timeline is on point. Again, the last nuclear treaty with Russia and America expires February 5th, 2026. That's, what is that? 3, 4, that's 3 days away. Okay? So with that, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, B'Kah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and taught us this truth. They are the true teachers for the nation of Israel on earth today. And citation to the Akim out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the 4 corners of the earth and risking their life for Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep it door, keep the faith, keep pushing, keep fighting, keep studying. Pray without ceasing. Pray for each other. Pray for the apostles, elders. We're almost out of here. We're clearly at the end. All right? Her sins have reached the heavens. All right? Her judgment reaches the heaven. It's time. All right? So stay locked in. We're just waiting for that chip. And then after that, the nukes fly and wicked people get their judgment. And with that, stay focused, stay locked in. For the fuses that are watching, keep studying. And when you pray, check, cover, shalom.